In this video, I'm going to take a ride into Red Square, and straight ahead, that little walkway across the street is Nikolskaya, and it's a pedestrian walkway for restaurants, cafes, souvenir shops, and if you walk down there, you'll hit Red Square from there. But you can also go along this big boulevard over here, and that's what I'm going to do on my bike. And if you're in Moscow, I recommend you get a bike because there is a lot of ground to cover. Moscow is about 970 square miles, and for comparison, New York is only about 302 square miles. So it's more than 3 times as big as New York City. So if you want to cover a lot of ground, a good idea is to have a bike. Also, public transportation is good as well, but you don't get to see the scenery and the buildings and all of that if you're underground. So let's check out what Moscow looks like on a nice summer July day. The yellow building on the right with the white columns is the world-famous Bolshoi Theater, and it is known for its operas and ballets, and it's the home of Swan Lake and the Nutcracker and a bunch of other things. So really a place to see if you come to Moscow because it is world-renowned. This building on the right with this empty parking lot in front is the Duma building, which is the lower house of parliament in the Russian government. And across the street, that red building, behind that is Red Square and the famous church. So I'm going to go under the street over here because you cannot cross above ground. I guess that's a good thing because it slows down traffic when pedestrians have to cross. And in the winter with bad weather, it's probably very hazardous. So most of the crossings in Moscow have these underground walkways, and you can also bring a bike or a carriage under there as well. So I'm going to go under and then pop out the other side across the street. So you got these Putin impersonators over here in Red Square, and when I first saw them, I wanted to take a picture with them, but I didn't this time, and I came back a few days later looking for them, and I didn't see them. So I was kind of disappointed, and on my next trip to Moscow in the winter, I found one, and I was so kind of excited to take a picture with him that I forgot to insist on the price first, and he tried to gouge me for like $50 or something ridiculous. I did a video about it, getting scammed by Putin. So just keep that in mind. Whether in Moscow or any other place, always ask the price first before you agree to anything, any photos or anything. Because once you take the photos, he kind of has the leverage. So always ask the price first and make sure you agree to a price before you do anything, to avoid any kind of arguments or intimidation or anything like that. These guys are pros at how to extract money from tourists, so just be careful of that.